Are you ready to see an undrafted linebacker steal the show in Seattle? Because there's a name emerging in camp that could become the 12th man's new darling, and nobody saw it coming. I'm Ethan Carter, and today things are heating up. We've got an UDFA vying for a spot on defense, a 91-game veteran being eyed to protect the new QB, a strong move to bolster the secondary with an ex-Bills player, and believe it or not, even Keenan Allen on the Hawks' radar. All of this in one video. But wait, if all of this is actually in motion, what is Seattle really plotting? What's up, 12s? Everything good? Welcome to another video here on your news and analysis channel, the Seahawks Insider Report. I'm coming to you this Tuesday with a truckload of news, hot takes, and everything about the team that makes Lumen Field tremble, our Seattle Seahawks. But before anything else, seriously, humbly, I wanted to ask you, who isn't yet part of our nation here on the channel? My fellow Seahawks fanatics, it's free and it helps us out a lot. Subscribe to the channel. Let's strengthen this Seahawks community. If you still believe that a new legend can emerge from the practice squad, like the Blue Wave Rising, leave a like and comment now. Who's your favorite sleeper of the 2025 camp? You know, that type of player nobody pays attention to, nobody talks about, nobody expects. But when camp starts, he just explodes? Well, there's a linebacker on the Seahawks roster who's about to do just that. And if you've never heard of Derrick Jackson, get ready to remember the name, because he could be the next comeback story to echo through the Rain City. Jackson wasn't drafted, not even invited to the combine. He slipped past almost every board in the league. But now in early July, he's wearing a Seahawks jersey, ready to try and carve out a spot in the most needy area of our defense, the heart of the linebacker core. With Tyrese Knight and Ernest Jones IV firm as starters, there's room for the backups to show what they've got. And Jackson, he has eye-catching numbers, 89 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2 sacks, 4 deflections, and even a pick 6 in the 2023 season for Kentucky. And more, he was named to the All-SEC by PFF. The guy has production, instinct, physique, 6'1", 237 belts, and now he has a chance. The craziest part, he wasn't even signed right away. He came in as a tryout, grinded in rookie minicamp, caught the eye of Mike McDonald, who, by the way, is a coach obsessed with defensive details, and earned a contract by sheer will. Now he enters training camp on July 23rd as part of the third group, alongside guys like Patrick O'Connell and Josh Ross. And here's the key point. If he shows consistency in the fundamentals, tackle angle, gap reading, pre-snap communication, he can easily jump to the second group. This isn't just a spot up for grabs, it's a chance to become a direct backup on a rebuilding defense. And let's be real, how many UDFAs have become icons in Seattle? Doug Baldwin himself was undrafted. Chris Matthews shined in a Super Bowl out of nowhere. What if Derrick is next? With a new coaching staff and a defense in transition, every rep he takes in preseason will be scrutinized. McDonald won't forgive mistakes, but he also won't ignore raw talent. And if this kid shows fire in his eyes and discipline in the playbook, watch out. Now tell me, 12th man, could the next big name on defense really come from a tryout contract, or is this all just another training camp mirage? How many times have you seen this scene? New quarterback, renewed hope, and as a blindside hit on the third snap. Yeah, Sam Darnold barely arrived in Seattle, and fans are already biting their nails, scared he'll get pulverized by opposing defenses. And you know why? Because despite all the hype, the offensive line is still a huge question mark. And then a name emerges on the horizon, Will Hernandez, a 91-game veteran, ex-Giants, ex-Cardinals, a guy who's seen it all, including injury after injury. But still, analyst Michael Bumpus, who knows the DNA of this team inside and out, insisted Seattle needs him. Hernandez is still available on the market, and what's more, according to Bumpus, he still delivers. Pass block win rate above 94% in the last 3 years. Good in the trenches, aggressive on initial contact, quick hands, firm feet, the kind of player who doesn't need 3 games to understand the system. He arrives, puts on the uniform, and protects the QB. Simple as that. And why does this matter now? Because the Seahawks interior line remains a risky experiment. Gray Zabel was a good draft pick. Yes, but he's a rookie. Bryce Cable 6th round. Mason Richmond 7th round. And last year's names, the same ones who saw Geno get swallowed in the pocket more than once. Darnold arrived with credit after a good year in Minnesota, but he was destroyed in the playoffs. 9 sacks in the game against the Rams alone. And anyone who saw that knows, without protection, there's no playbook, no pocket, no miracle. The hope is that the new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak, can adjust the system. But let's be serious, Scheme helps, but it doesn't plug holes. What if there's an injury? What if Zabel isn't all that? The depth of this OL is fragile. It's almost a house of cards held together with duct tape, and Hernandez, he's out there, ripe for the picking. Maybe at the right price, maybe with motivation to prove he still has gas in the tank. Now it's up to Schneider. Does the cap allow it? Yes. Is the need real? Absolutely. The question is, will the front office risk another season with promises, or will they bring in a veteran to shield the new offensive commander before it's too late? Comment below, do you trust this current line, or is it time to bring in some heavy hitters for the interior protection? Have you ever stopped to think how many games we've lost by a single play? A missed assignment, a third down pass that turns into a conversion, a lack of reading in the deep field. Well, the Seahawks' secondary has been bleeding for a long time, and now finally the front office seems to have woken up. The name, Rasul Douglas. Yes, him. The veteran who wreaked havoc at the end of last season for the Bills. 3 interceptions, 11 passes defensed, a decisive pick 6, and yet he's a free agent. But that could change at any moment because sources close to the front office have confirmed Seattle has already made contact with the players' representatives. And it wasn't just a casual chat, it was a serious conversation. Because Mike Macdonald, the new defensive coordinator, is looking for pieces that understand the game before the snap. And Douglas is exactly that guy. He plays with intelligence, physicality, and instincts. A versatile cornerback who can line up both outside and in the nickel, and who has faced powerful AFC and NFC offenses. More than that, he's a 29-year-old veteran with a history of big moment plays. And let's be real, besides Witherspoon and Woolen, who inspires confidence in the rotation right now, nobody. The slot is a mess, the backups are young and inconsistent, and when the game gets tight, nobody wants to rely on potential. We want immediate results. Rasul could arrive, put on the jersey, and command the rotation as a third CB, making an impact in the first few weeks. The cap? We have $12 million in space, more than enough to put together a solid offer without compromising the plan. And here's the masterstroke. If Seattle really wants Douglas, they have to act before training camp. Because once camps start, the market dries up. Guys sign contracts quickly. The window is now. And talk about irony. While everyone is talking about reinforcing the offense, it's the defense that could make the most consistent leap. Because with McDonald redesigning the system, a name like Rasul could be the missing link to give shape to the new plan. And if he comes, we already know. The fans will remember that pick 6 against the Bills and think, this guy knows how to change a big game. But will the front office have the courage to pull the trigger? Or will we once again bet on developments and pay the price in December? Talk to me, Hawks Nest. Would you entrust the slot corner for the season to a young developing player or immediately bring in a veteran enforcer to solve the problem? You blinked, and the Seahawks might be plotting the offseason's boldest move. While everyone's distracted by defensive adjustments and offensive line speculations, the rumor mill has started churning with a story that seems too good to be true. Keenan Allen in Seattle. Yes, him. The route-running maestro, former Chargers star, current mentor to Caleb Williams in Chicago, could be heading to the Emerald City. And the question echoing through the NFL's hallways is, will the Bears really hold on to him? Let's get to the facts. Allen is still one of the most technical receivers in the league. Sure hands, surgically precise routes, and quiet leadership in the locker room. He's the kind of piece who doesn't need 10 targets per game to change the course of a season. And Seattle, in this moment of offensive transition, is desperately looking for consistency. Jackson Smith-Njigba showed flashes in 2024, but he's still inconsistent. Lockett is gone. DK, we still don't know if he's staying. The new OC Ryan Grubb wants to build a system based on separation and timing, and nobody does that better than Keenan. Sources close to the NFC West revealed that the Seahawks have already initiated preliminary conversations with the players' representatives. The idea: trade mid-round picks and absorb Allen's flexible contract, which still has reasonable cap value, and what's more, no future bonuses tying down the team. In other words, it's a high-impact move with controlled risk. What does this say about the plan? It says Seattle doesn't want to wait until 2026 to compete. It says the coaching staff sees 2025 as a year of affirmation, not slow rebuilding. And it says, most importantly, that they want to give real weapons to the new QB, whether it's Darnold or a young player who emerges during the season. Imagine a trio with Keenan Allen, JSN, and DK, or another vertical receiver that completely transforms the aerial threat. And if you think Keenan is already declining, it's worth remembering, even on the unstable Bears, he surpassed 800 yards and had 6 TDs in 13 games. With system consistency and an OC who knows how to design effective short routes, he becomes a chain-moving machine. Now time is ticking. The Bears say they want to keep him as a mentor, but everything has a price. And Seattle knows that if they don't act now, some contender might jump ahead. So, would you risk a 4th-round pick for one of the most technical WRs of the last decade? Or would you prefer to bet on youth and see what happens? The clock is ticking, and Schneider has already proven he likes to act in silence. If there's one thing this video made clear, it's that the Seahawks are moving their pieces on the chessboard with more audacity than many realize. From an undrafted linebacker trying to write his own legend, to a potential elite reinforcement in the secondary, to an offensive line veteran ready to shield Darnold, and a wide receiver who can still be a nightmare for NFC defenders, Seattle seems more restless than ever. So, what do you think? Does this new Seahawks team look like a rebuild or a silent revolution? Enjoyed the talk? Then comment your take, because here it's like Lumen Field on game day, only true fans, loud noise, and unfiltered opinions.